Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make some killer rosemary plum scones. So to begin, we're going to make a rosemary infused heavy cream. So in a small saucepan over medium-high heat, add in some heavy cream and a few sprigs of rosemary. Let the mixture come up to a simmer so that the heavy cream becomes infused with that rosemary flavor. And once the cream is simmering, take it off of the heat and let it cool down in the refrigerator for at least half an hour. Meanwhile, we're going to mix together our dry ingredients. So in a large mixing bowl, add together some flour, baking powder, and sugar. Season with a generous pinch of salt, and then also grate in some fresh lemon zest. To really bring home that rosemary flavor, I'm also going to add in some minced rosemary. So run your hand down a sprig of rosemary and give that a fine mince. Add the rosemary to the rest of the dry ingredients and then give that all a good whisk to combine. Now strain out the cooled down heavy cream mixture into a measuring cup. Add to that 2 eggs as well as some vanilla extract. Beat all of that together and reserve until a little bit later. Now to the dry ingredients, add some diced very cold butter, and using your hands, mix that around until the butter and flour combines to form a mixture that kind of looks like coarse breadcrumbs. Now take out some diced frozen plums from the freezer and add some to your butter flour mixture. Now pour in the wet ingredients and using a fork mix everything around until the dough just starts to come together into a very sticky kind of mess. And at that point you can switch out the fork for your hands and continue gently kneading the dough until all of the flour has been incorporated, but the dough just barely comes together and it's still very sticky to work with. Turn out the dough onto a very well floured surface and just begin gently forming the dough into a ball. At this point you can either use your hands or a rolling pin. I prefer my hands, but just kind of flatten the ball into a disc that is about 1/4 inch thick. Cut the disc into 1/8. And now put each individual scone onto a half-sheet pan lined with parchment paper. Brush the tops of the scones with some heavy cream so that they'll all brown in the oven, and then sprinkle on some regular granulated sugar to have this kind of sugary crystallized crust. Bake the scones in an oven heated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 18 minutes, or until they have risen and are a beautiful golden brown on top. Once the scones have cooled down for about 10 minutes, you're ready to serve. You can give them to your friends, your family. They'll keep for about a few days covered, but me, I'm just gonna wrap them up in a cloth nice and pretty and enjoy the fruits of my labor. Okay, hey guys, so I know it's been a little while since I've made a video, but I'm back in action and in the flesh. So I'm gonna taste these bad boys for you. Okay, so straight off the bat, you can tell that they spread a little bit in the oven, and the reason that happened is because I probably let them warm up a little too much so the butter melted. If you put them in the oven really cold and chilled, then they shouldn't spread and it should be good, but I'm pretty sure these will taste pretty good. So let's, you can just see the juiciness of the plum and they're so fluffy. Okay, let's give this a taste. So right away, these are very fluffy, they're moist, and it just melts on your tongue. The rosemary flavor, it kind of permeates the scone, but it's not in your face because you made a rosemary infused cream. So that is just absolutely delicious. The lemon zest also perfectly complements the rosemary because everyone knows that rosemary and lemon are a match made in heaven. The plums, something happens while they're baking that they become kind of meaty and even sweeter than they were beforehand, and they are just so fruity and delicious, and they give such a great contrast to the earthiness of the rosemary, that kind of fruity plum. So good. These are like your lazy man's fancy scone. Like, I can see you serving this at some sort of fancy brunch and everyone will come up to you begging for the recipe because, I mean, rosemary and plum is not the most common flavor combination, but it works so well because they're not savory, but it has just enough of that rosemary flavor to kind of drive them over the edge. I would highly recommend this recipe. They're delicious, they're great for breakfast, for brunch, for a snack, but maybe not every day because there is a lot of butter and heavy cream in them. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. This is a definite winner and I would highly recommend it. If you did like this video, please be sure to thumbs up and subscribe. Subscribe is really important. That's down below in the info box. Also in the info box are all of the ingredients and measurements, so you can make this recipe whenever you want. If you guys like food and want more of it, I have my Instagram and Tumblr linked below in the info box. I post tons of food photos and articles about food and recipes. So if you guys are interested in that, please be sure to check those out. Follow me, subscribe to me, you know, whatever floats your boat. If not, it's cool too. Make these scones though, because they are really a winner. So take care, guys. I'm just gonna be eating this. I can't stop eating these. Oh my god.